Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on this look right here and swatches of the Viseart Paris Edit palette. Now, some weeks ago, Muse Beauty Pro had a sale. They had their buy this, get that sale. And they usually have some very good deals on there, especially on Viseart eyeshadow palettes. So they were having a sale where if you bought two of these mini 12 pan palettes, that's what I call them, the Edit palettes, then you got a free Esum eyeshadow brush, which I meant to use today and forgot about, so next time. So I don't know how much these palettes retail for individually, but I got these two and the eyeshadow brush for like $63, which I'm pretty sure was a deal because they usually do have a good deal on those. So this is the Viseart standard 12 size, their regular 12 size palette, and then this is the mini. So you can see this is the box, this is the actual palette, so you can see the size difference. It's pretty substantial. And then they have their Petite Pro palettes, which are even smaller. So this is the Paris Edit palette, and it's really pretty. And I don't know that this palette was ever on my radar, but when the the sale came around, I took a better look at it, and I'm like, I think I kind of like that. So this is what the packaging looks like. Really pretty. It's like this peachy shade, and this is actually the front of the palette, and you have this little ribbon here that you use to open the flaps, and you can set it up like an easel, so if you want to set it down you can do that. And it does have a little mirror, and then it's got this plastic covering over top, and then the eyeshadows, which are teeny tiny teeny tiny, are here. And they are magnetized in the pan, so you can take these out. A couple of them actually have fallen out. But thankfully they didn't break. But you can take them out and you can rearrange them if you like, or pop them out and put them in another magnetic palette, or whatever it is you want to do with them, you can if you decide you want to depot this palette. And so there are 12 shadows. You have this kind of plummy, peachy color story, which is really pretty. Now, when I first saw the package, I thought it looks way peachy on the package, and I'm like, did I buy the right one? But then when you open it up, then it does look more plummy. It looks like it has more plum in it, which is what I really like. There are 5 matte shades and the rest are shimmer, and they all swatch really smoothly, really buttery. They just feel really nice swatching them on the skin. Now, 2 of the matte shades, this really dark plum one and then this lighter mauvey one on top, they feel the driest of all of the mattes in the palette, but they swatch just as buttery smooth as the other mattes. The other mattes feel softer, feel smoother to the touch. I shouldn't say softer, they feel smoother to the touch, but they all swatched beautifully. And then you have these shimmer shades, and of the shimmer shades, this one right here, you do get the names of the shadows on the back of the box, not on the palette itself. So this one right here, Pirouette, it has a little, it looks like it's different from the rest. It seems like it has more texture and more shimmer to it. It's just really, really pretty. Like, look at that. Oh, so pretty. I didn't use that one today. Next time. I didn't swatch the palette before I used it. I just went on ahead and picked the shadows, the colors that I liked, and used it in this eye look today. But yeah, very, very beautiful. Now, I'm no stranger, as you know, to Viseart's eyeshadow formula, their matte formula. I love their matte formula. They are, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, matte formula on the market. They usually feel dry. The regular 12 pan palettes mattes usually feel dry, don't always swatch really well, but they always perform beautifully, and that's really where it counts, right? They perform beautifully. They're very easy to blend. They're pigmented, they keep their pigmentation. And what I really like about the Viseart matte, which you don't find with a lot of other matte formulas from different brands, is that the shadow in the pan stays true to color when you apply it onto the skin, and I love that. So I am no stranger to the matte formula, but the shimmer formula I've never tried before. And I do have the Petite Pro. This is the Petite Pro 5 Soleil palette, and this one has shimmers in it. You can see it's still in the box because I haven't used it yet. So prior to today, I still had not yet experienced their shimmer formula. But what I've heard about it is that it's not really foiled, and from looking at it here, except for this one, looks the most foiled of all of the shimmers in this palette. They're not the most foiled, they're not the most metallic. You're not going to see this shimmer from space or anything like that. They're more subtle because Viseart is a pro brand. I think now with these palettes and the Petite Pro palettes, they are marketing more towards the regular days average makeup user like me. But their regular size 12 pan palettes are for pros. So their shimmers, you know, are the kinds that you can use for brides, subtle and soft. And you know, some people complained about the fact that they're not really shimmery, but a few years ago they did change their formula. I don't know if they changed the matte formula, but they did redo their shimmer and their metallic formulas when they came out with the Grand Pro 2 palette, which is their all shimmer palette. They had changed the formula, and now they have different formulas within their shimmer collection. So this very well might just be a different formula from the other shimmers in this palette, and that's why it looks more foiled. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I really do love the color story, a combination of plums and peach shades, and then you have this beautiful gray shade right here, and then you have some neutrals that you can place in your crease or under your brow, however you choose to use them. This palette sort of screams fall to me. It just has that fall color story, which I'm really kind of getting into fall vibes right now. I know summer's not over yet, and it's still hot where I am. So it doesn't feel like fall at all. But I don't know, it's September and or maybe I'm just ready to transition into fall makeup. I don't know, but yeah, so this is the look that I came up with today, which is, I don't know, it looks kind of smoky. It's definitely plum, definitely on the plum purpley side. I did put that gray on 3/4 of my lid, and yeah, so this was my first time working with the shimmer formula. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on this palette and this formula, then stick around. After the tutorial, I will share them with you. In the meantime, if you'd like to see how I created this plum fall inspired look today using the Viseart Paris Edit palette, then keep on watching. I'm starting off today's look with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is the anti-aging one, and I'm going to use that to prime my eye all the way from my brow to the lash line. I'm just going to tap that all over with my finger. Going into the Paris Edit palette, I'm taking the shade Fleur, and I'm placing that into the crease to get things started here. This is a pretty plum shade. And I'm using back and forth motions and little circular motions when I get to the outer V area. And I normally use a much fluffier brush when I apply my crease shade. I was trying to just use clean brushes. I didn't want to clean any brushes. So I use this more of a flat packer eyeshadow brush to apply this. And I think this is a refer brush, and it was pretty stiff, pretty firm. So not my usual choice, but it worked. Going back into the palette, and I'm taking the shade Tulle, and I'm going to blend out the edges of that Fleur shade that I just applied. And I really liked the shade. I really liked how the two of them blended so easily and effortlessly into one another. So you got just a little peak of like pink right there on the outer edge of that purple lilac shade. Going into the palette again, and now I'm taking Cerise, I think. I don't know. This is all French. And I don't know any French, so pardon my French. And I'm placing that on the outer V. Again, I would normally use a fluffier brush for this. I believe this is a Wayne Goss brush. But again, it's similar to the refer brush that I just used, a more flat shader brush. But I think this was a good choice because I really didn't want to bring that eyeshadow up too high into the crease. So this helped me be a little more precise with my blending. Now I'm taking this beautiful shade Saint Germain, and I'm using it dry, and it's a shimmer shadow. And it's really pretty. It's this gray, but it's like this plum gray eyeshadow color. Really nice. And I ended up putting that over 3/4 of the lid. I was gonna put it just on the outer part of the lid, but I liked it so much that I decided to put it 3/4, like all the way across the mobile eyelid. And I went into the palette a couple of times just to build up the shade. And you know, not super blingy or foiled, but still pretty. And now I'm taking Opera, and also dry, and I'm placing that on the inner quarter of the lid and blending that into that little plummy gray shade. And this one had a lot more foil to it, a lot more shine. I'm not sure if these two shadows are a different shimmer formula, but definitely this one had a little more punch to it. And again, a sort of a lilac silver shade hue to it. Going back in with that dark matte shade and just making sure that I blend that into the lid shade and then into the crease to give myself a little more definition in the crease area and in the outer V area. And then back in with that first crease shade, Fleur, and again, just making sure that all of these shadows blend seamlessly together so you can't see where one shadow ends and the other begins. And then back in with Tulle, and just again blending around the edges of the crease shade. Since I added some more, want to make sure again that the blend between shadows is seamless. And now I'm taking this lighter shade, creme brulee, and that's going to serve as my little brow bone highlight, but I'm also going to blend out the edge of that last color, the color that I put at the high point of my crease. And now I decided to line with the Esum Dual Eye Pencil. This is in Rosé Aubergine, and I used the aubergine side. Since I wasn't going to be using false lashes, I wanted to be sure to keep this liner as close to my lash line as possible, because the thicker it gets, the more my own natural lashes would disappear, and I didn't want that. And now I'm just cleaning up under the eye. I really had no fallout really with any of these shadows. Now I'm just going back in with that inner corner shade that I put on the inner top of the lid and using that as my highlight. And now I'm taking this Tuileries shade and I'm going to put that in the middle. I usually start in the opposite direction. I start from the outer corner of the lash line, but I just did it backwards this time. And I'm placing that in the middle portion of the lower lash line. I use this dry as well. And now I'm going back in with Saint Germain and I'm putting that on the outer quarter of the lower lash line, making sure to blend all of these shadows together. And again, used it dry. And now I'm going back in with the dark cranberry-ish purple shade, matte shade, and I'm going to connect that to the same shadow in the outer V area. And now I'm going in with my Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Piggy Bank, and this is a purple, and it's a soft purple, so I'm placing that into the waterline, and I think it worked well with this look. And this is the completed look, just mascara, no lashes. And I wasn't prepared for how smoky it came out, but I do like it. That is the completed look. I did pair it with a matte, dark lilac, plummy purple lip. But you could easily pair this with something to match my shirt, something a little more pinky neutral, with a gloss, however you would like to finish it off. But I decided to go matte today. Like I said, I'm kind of feeling in a fall-ish type of mood. So after using the Viseart Paris Edit palette for the first time, what are my thoughts? I like it. I like it, and I wasn't expecting not to. I was really excited and anxious to try the shimmer formula because it didn't get great reviews in the past. And yeah, I like it. You know, I tend to prefer metallic shadows that are really foiled, super bright, super metallic. But that doesn't mean I don't like or appreciate softer shimmer shadows, because I do. I really think it's just the formula that really makes me decide whether or not I'm gonna like a shimmer shadow, not just the amount of foil, but the formula. And this formula is just really nice. They're really pretty and soft, but they feel so smooth. Oh my God, it literally feels like silk when I apply it to my hand. They feel like silk. They're so soft and so smooth, and that's how they apply on the eye. Really soft, really smooth, really just easy, very easy. You know, I'm usually quick to wet an eyeshadow, a shimmer shade. But today, of course, I wanted to try it and see what it looked like without wetting it. But then after I used it dry, I didn't really feel the need to wet it. I feel like I've got some good shimmer going on the lid, especially the one that I placed there on the inner part of the lid. This one right here, I mean, it's quite foiled in its own right. Definitely added a pop of brightness to the look. And yeah, they were just really easy to work with, really pretty, very soft. I'm sure I could have probably bumped it up a notch if I had decided to wet them, but really not the look I was going for today. And I do like that in a shimmer shadow. I love my super foiled, but I do love the ones that also you can wear them nice and soft, or you can amp them up and take them to that next level if you choose. So maybe in the next look that I do with this palette, maybe I'll wet it. I don't know, we'll see. But I really do like the way they performed. The mattes, of course, same as always, pigmented, true to color, and easy to blend. And you really can't ask for much more in a matte shadow or in a shadow period, in my opinion. So yeah, I think if you're looking for a nice Plum Peach Color Story, a palette that you can use in the spring and summer and also in the fall. I think this is a great choice if you like something, if you want to do something smoky, you want to do something muted and soft, if you want to do something light and airy, you've got these peachy shades you can do that with. I mean, I really think it's a versatile palette, a versatile color story, and I'm definitely looking forward to using it some more as we go on in the season. Please let me know if you would like to see me do any other looks with this palette, and I will get that out to you. Do you have these palettes? What do you think of the Viseart Shimmer Metallic Formula? Let me know that too. If you liked this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do eyeshadow tutorials, hauls, swatches, and makeup reviews here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.